Hello everybody, this is Chuck and I really appreciate you stopping by for this video. I'm producing this video in honor of my friend Chewie Rios. He was my good friend and mentor, and he touched a lot of people in the machining community over his years. I met him in, I think, 2013, somewhere about there. He had a Craigslist ad, and I stopped over to see it. And he says, "Hey, I'm retired. I'm selling everything." And I looked at a couple of things, and I asked about pricing. And he says, "Hey, I'm just going to go in the house. Just go through my box. I'm selling everything." So he went in the house, and I started opening drawers. And hang on a second. All right, sorry for that little skip there. As I said, I was opening drawers and looking, and as I opened drawers, hey, I'm young in my tool collecting there in 2013. As you know, I'm a crazy tool collector. And as I opened drawers, got this, I got it. And I grabbed a tool, and he came back out, and this is the tool that I had in my hand. And I said, "Hey, Chewie," I says, "how do you set these up in the mill? I really don't understand." We turned around, and at his bench, he described it, and the discussion was for about 20 minutes. And he paused, and he looked at me, and he said, "Been in the trade for almost 40 years or 40 years plus." He says, "Never met a guy like you that wants to learn so bad." Kind of chuckled, and that was the start of our friendship. As we talked, we both, as we were interacting and meeting each other still there at that first day, we both had wives that are Filipino descent. We both played pool. We both played golf. We both played poker, and just had a lot of general interest right there. Well, I was very fortunate. I invited him to come to my shop and use my tools anytime he wanted. So let's click to a little quick video here. I'm just going to mention that Chewie was very much camera shy. I don't know that I ever got him. I've gone through archives of my videos. There's over 500 videos, and I talked about him a lot in many, many videos. But here's a little shorty, and let's watch that, and we'll come back, and then I'll continue to yakety yak here.
This is our power feed. Much of
Italian style. Well, that was Chewie's voice on that video. That was a pool cue stick that he was working on. He did that as a little side business and continued on. He did not sell all his tools. He ended up buying a little Stark lathe from Carl and was doing pool cue repairs. I did some different things for him on the machine, if you watched my videos over the years. And eventually bought a closing and helped him move that. And but anyway, that was very early on in our relationship. As you can hear, we're laughing together. We always had a lot of fun. And one day he came over to the shop, and he says, "Here, you want to do this for me?" I said, "No, I'm not doing it." And he looked at me and he goes, "What, are you afraid you're going to do it wrong, damage it?" I said, "Hell no." I said, "I'll do it wrong, damage it for you. I don't care." He says, "Doesn't matter." I says, "But you don't understand. Standing here and watching you operate either the lathe or the mill, I watch everything you do. I watch your motions, where your hands go, how you're touching, everything that you're doing. That's how I learn. I've done it over the years." And so I says, "No, you do your own part. I'm watching." And that continued on all the way through our relationship. I rarely did things for him, much to his angst. One of the, if you guys, I'm going to yakety yak here. I've got just a lot of memories and cherished memories with Chewie that I want to share with you. And I got a couple more little video clips. One of the things that was always I don't know, an issue with him, or we bantered about, was screwy balls. And if you followed me over the years, you knew that I was manufacturing these and selling them, grinding them and selling them. Well, it started off that actually these two are the balls that I bought from Chewie. And even though I've ground hundreds of balls, I kept the ones that I got from Chewie. So they were Chewie balls, right? And so he was here in the shop one day, and I was talking about him, and I had a surface grinder that was right behind me back then, a Brown & Sharp. Now the Monarch sits there, and the grinders are in the other room. And I said, hey, you know, these are really kind of cool. I think maybe I'll grind them and try selling them. And I said, Chewie balls. Chewie balls. Hey, I'm going to call them screwy balls. We both laughed and stuff, and his sales were okay, and he used to always go, where's my cut? Where's my cut? Other things, you know, so I learned so much having a mentor, a 40-year plus tool maker, a grinding expert in my shop. Early on, he was doing some builds of a holder for an iPad. When he did that pool cue, he did checkering, which I had no idea what he was doing and how he did it, and just on and on. And he would come and sometimes ask me to build him something, which I did. Always wanted to help him, as he always wanted to help me. I always had a reference that I could make a phone call and talk to him. And yet, when he was here, he never failed to get in my ass. You know, if he went over to use my mill, first thing he'd do is stick his finger up in the quill and pull it down and go, look, you know, precision. You can't have this with precision. Everything about him was precision. Hey, he's a tool maker. And he taught me so much. And I miss him dearly. So before I choke up here, let's flip on to another video here. I added the piece onto the front of my surface gauge for checking square. Well, my mentor Chewie came over, and I showed it to him, and he said, oh, yeah, you did a real nice job. That's nice. But too much surface area on the front of here, in his opinion. And he'd like to see some nice radiuses come down, so it's a more of a much smaller tip for the gauge to run on. And he really wanted a much cleaner, better radius than just a belt sanded radius. So he kind of put the challenge to me. So I'm going to do a little remodel on this, and what I'm planning on doing, and maybe it's a little screwball, but that's me. Here's a little pallet for the lathe, 1-inch stem on it. Actually, I had purchased these from Chewie when I first met him. So I haven't used them one yet, so I'm planning on doing the radius of this bar on the lathe rather than setting it up on the mill and trying to do it on the rotary table. Now, but hopefully I made my mentor proud. So I ended up with a nice radius on there. I'm glad Chewie kicked my butt. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that little video there. These are the two units that I actually had purchased from Chewie way back when. This was a rectangular one. Where's the camera? He had made them, and they've gotten a few uses. Fit in a 1-inch collet on the lathe. Yeah, or you could use them in the mill to hold things. Make yourself some. Anyway, what I wanted to express about that, saying kicking my butt, he was always supportive. Always teaching me, never letting something go by, but always supportive. And that you just can't beat that. And you know, having my screwy balls or his balls, oops, his his ground balls, and having there's multiple things I have in here. The Kurt Weiss on my mill he had given to me. We had traded stuff back and forth all the time. But so what I was getting at is, you know, having things like this, he's always going to be with me. He's in my heart. He'll don't get choked up here. He'll always be in my shop. I have other items in here. My son's pictures are in here. Getting choked up. I bought a drill press from a machinist that I had met, Paul. I had talked to him about him in videos in the past. He was up in his 80s, job shop still going. I would go and visit with him a couple times a week, sit there and chat and learn. Just great guy. And then I've got a license plate thing over here from Don's Auto. Don was a gruff guy that rebuilt mills. I've talked about him in the past. He's with me here in the shop. Certainly miss him also. But let's before I choke up more, let's go to another video. To follow up the day though, which have a lot of fun here in the shop. My buddy and mentor Chewie stopped by, and that's what this video is going to really be about. He had a 3-jaw chuck that he needed to get trued up so he could use it on his Stark lathe. There is some video that I did earlier where I helped him on an indicator holder for it. You can see that lathe. So I'm going to show you, we trued the jaws up and ended up here on the machine. You'll see the reading, but when he went home and put it on his own machine, he was total readout, runout was just a touch over 1 thou. Hey guys, it's Chuck. Welcome back to my shop. Today we got a little job. My buddy Chewie, my mentor, got a little job for the Stark lathe. Some time ago I made him this arbor that fits the thread on this chuck. And so what we're going to be doing, or he's going to be doing, but he's camera shy, but we'll see his hands. He's going to be grinding the 3-jaw chuck here. An indicator on it, and we got 3 thousandths total run out after the grind.
Total indicator run.
Total indicator run out. And that's on a chuck that's, we're guessing, built in the early 1900s. So it's going to work well for Chewie's uses back on the Stark lathe. I included it. It just it's a very good indicator of the fun we had doing the little thing for him, or he was doing it, and of course I'm learning. The clip was much longer, and you know how he set up to dress the wheel, and lots of different things that occurred in that day. But if you notice at the end, he gives a little correction on, again, always educating me. And I just want to say that he really, although that he really enjoyed that a lot of people knew who he was through the exposure on the channel. He was here at my meet and greet and got to meet a lot of the guys. There was 40 guys here that day, and I know he was very impressed that hey, a lot of guys knew who I was. But he had, and everybody was impressed with him. Just what a great guy he is. But I hope you enjoy this video, and we'll continue on. Okay, so let's talk about what's really tits in this world. Well, at least in my shop. I'm going to show you some photos from back at my Tool Time 44 restoration. Excuse me. This was a 3-axis unit off a Hammond grinder that I had purchased, and here you'll see the photos of how rusty it was in my restoration of it. and we'll bring you right back after that. Get a view of it. All in all, it turned out well, cleaned up well. Just fortunate that everything did come apart without a major fight. So it was okay. Well, as I've mentioned in many of my videos, I'm a very lucky fella. I have a very good friend. His name is Jesus Rios, also known as Jess or Chewie Rios, and he's a retired toolmaker. And back in the day, he actually used a similar device as this when he was working in the trade. Excuse my throat here. I've been sick, as everybody in my family is sick, and it's been a rough week. But Chewie said, let me dress this puppy up. He calls it going squirrel on it, and squirrel he did. I'm very fortunate, and he I'll give you kind of a roundabout view of here, and hopefully you can see it. We changed out the I guess they're Filster head screws. Excuse me, to socket head button heads. Same thing on the degree wheel there. But Chewie went through this and painted it, and we put in new oh man, I'm dying here, guys. Sorry about that. You can see he dressed it all up. He did a fantastic job. Took it all apart, rebuffed all of the units. If you recall the chrome here where it's wore off, he buffed that and cleaned all that up too. Took the scale off, cleaned the scale up. Fantastic job. Just a fantastic job. And I couldn't thank him enough. He said he had roughly about 15 hours in it, which is quite extensive in my book. But I want to thank Chewie, and very impressed. And hopefully this tool, I don't know, might have to be just be a trophy and be on the shelf now. I don't know. But anyway, again, thank you, Chewie, and I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this tool. It is really a nice, unique piece. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. As you can see, it's another piece that'll be in my shop. When I use it, I'll think of my good friend. He did a heck of a job on it, and his term of going squirrel was, I always loved that term. And he was squirrel about a lot of things. A lot of times he came over to the shop and he'd go over to the surface grinder, and he'd squirrel something that he had out of his box. Matter of fact, just recently I did get to visit with him a couple of weeks ago. My granddaughter had a volleyball tournament close to his house, and we visited with his family. Just a fantastic family. His wife, Carm, his daughters. We feel part of the family. I know we're part of the family. And while we were there in his shop chatting, he said, here, and he handed me I think it was a ER32 collet holder, and said, I hate this tool. I bought it, and he says, take it home and put a squirrel on it for me on the grinder. And I did, and I packaged it and sent it back to him, and he was very happy with it. Talk about, remember he had the accident, an unfortunate accident where he got his hand sucked into the lathe. And there's a video about it where I talk about it. And the main thing I talked about it was hopefully to prevent other people from having that same accident. It was very important to him. he just made a mistake. And as you know, this machine right behind me, you make a mistake, it just eats you. It doesn't care. It's not stopping. I did, I think we'll have a clip in here where I did a safety switch on my Monarch after Chewie got hurt to help me. Um, he did recover fairly well from his tragic accident. He always was very appreciative, very, very appreciative of the people that contacted him. And I always told him every time somebody would comment on my channel about a video, and then they always ask me, how's Chewie doing? And I always wanted to give everybody an update. He was a special guy. When I met him in 2013, he was relatively healthy. He did have diabetes back then. He had diabetes over the years. The diabetes got very, very hard on him. He lost toes, and he would go, "Yeah, I can only count to 16 now." And another day, I only count to 13. And never complained. Never bad. He was on dialysis, which was very, very hard on him, very hard on his family because now he can't drive, and so they were shuttling him. He was starting to lose his vision from the diabetes. Again, just very hard on him. He had stents. He had heart issues, and unfortunately, he was I think 73 when he passed here. But never bitched. Never bitched about a thing. Just lived life and enjoyed life. He did bitch when I beat him in pool. We used to play pool here a lot and have our specials, which was Jose and Squirt. And him and my wife would bitch at me. He'd always gang up with my wife and say that I was working him and cheating. And it was all these the bantering. We played in a pool league together also, which was a lot of fun also. Let's move on to another video. As you saw, my previous video, shop safety, tragic accident. Just a quick update on my good friend and mentor Chewie. I just actually got off the phone with him. He's doing pretty good, all in all, spirits-wise. He wanted me to express thank you to the comments, the texts, the mail, phone calls he's been getting. It does really help his spirits. Pain-wise, he's still in pain, but not so much that he can't tolerate it, I guess. He is taking some pain medicine, but he's not trying to live on it either. So he's doing good, all in all. And we probably talked for about 15, 20 minutes today. Okay, that was just a video talking about Chewie there and how he appreciated everybody, all the various contexts that this YouTube community of machinists brings. Even if you're not a creator and you're on the periphery, there's a lot of contacts, a lot of friends that this has created. And I'm very appreciative of all my viewers, all the various people that I've met through YouTube, and this trade. Like I said, I took it up as a hobby. I'm a tool nut. I love trying to figure out setups. I'm a hack. I'm the first guy to say I'm a hack. I can do about anything. It'll work. Is it artistically great? Do I have that artistic touch like a lot of guys have? No, but it'll work. I can get it done. So anyway, and Chewie always taught me to cheat. I'm not supposed to say that probably. He's probably going to shut up. But a lot of things we talked about, I mean, always an education as we discussed many things about machining and stuff. So I'm going to close this out. It's been long-winded. It's been good for me to express my feelings for him. He always said he loved me. And see, I'm going to choke up. Ah! And he got me to say it back. Thank you, Chewie.